Hello everyone, this is yours truly, J Blue 68. Today is September the 2nd. Hard to believe we're into September now. And I actually said in my other video we're at the end of summer. Well, I checked the calendar and summer officially ends, I believe it's September the 20th, 21st, or 22nd, and then autumn begins. So we're still actually into the summer, but we're no longer in August. September has begun. Fall is one of my favorite times of the year. This video is actually a video I shot or was supposed to post actually last week, but as I also indicated, I had a virus in my software, so this is just me redoing the same video that I did before, and this is based on my comic book pick of the week, and that is based off of History of the Marvel Universe #1. History of the Marvel Universe #1, written by Mark Waid, Javier Rodriguez, and with Alvaro Lopez. And book number 2 came out, I believe, a week ago. And this is book number 2. I began reading book number 2. Okay, sorry about that there. I began reading book number 2. I'm still in the midst of reading it. But I really want to talk about book number 1. Book number 1. But before I do that, I want to say thank you to my subscribers for helping me to continue to grow and supporting my channel. Please continue to hit that like button, subscribe, recommend this page to someone else who may be interested. And thank you again so much. Tap that bell so you can get notifications like this as I upload them immediately. So, I have my coffee cup over here too, as you can see, with this Venom on the cup. Looks like he's thirsty there. Look at that. Very nice. I love to have my coffee in the morning. Now, obviously, so does he. Yum, yum. Let me take a sip here so that my voice is clear. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to take this book out of the Mylar here. I always keep my books in Mylars. We're going to take a look at some of these pages here. But first, before we even open up the book, the cover itself basically is very interesting, very intriguing, because it has some very popular characters on it, some of the most powerful people in the Marvel Universe. And these are mainly the cosmic characters of the Marvel Universe. We have Galactus here, Silver Surfer, one of the Skrulls, one of the Watchers, member of the Nova Force. Looks like Odin there. I'm not sure who that is. I think that's Kid Colt right there. I'm not sure why he's on this particular cover, but then again, I read it, so I do know why. Once they introduce the cosmic heroes, they go from the cosmic heroes to the earthly realm. But we'll discuss more of that in a moment. And then there's Fang Foom right there. I believe that's his name. Let's open the book up. History of the Marvel Universe. Have all the intros here, all the credits of who participated in the making of this book. But as we get into the first pages, we see that Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards, is having a conversation with Galactus. It's basically the universes come to an end, one universe anyway, because we know Marvel basically has what's called a multiverse. So there are various universes that are actually taking place or having activity simultaneously. Or I should say, universes that are existing in simultaneous flow and function. Well, that's what's happening right here. And Reed Richards' son, Franklin Richards, who's a member of the Future Foundation, is having a conversation with Galactus to discuss with him why the universe is ending, what's going to happen once the universe ends, is another universe going to come into play, will his life be spared, and if so, will he exist in an alternate universe? And Galactus is explaining all of this to him. I don't want to really read too much. I'd rather you buy the book yourself and read it. This is just really a preview of the book and why I find it interesting and why it's my pick of the week. Although it came out, this book anyway, came out about 2 weeks ago. We found out a lot of interesting things in this book about Galactus, his beginnings, his real name, which is Galen of Ta. How Galactus, once the universe came, his universe came to an end, one of several universes came to an end, how he was able to preserve his life, and he sheltered himself on some planet and used his ship that he fled in when the universe was coming to an end, and actually took his ship and built it into a sort of carcass, a galactic, what word am I trying to think of here? Almost like having a suit on, a suit of armor, space suit of armor, where he could survive the elements of space. But when that happened, it caused him to, as you can see here, the transition. That's him right there, Galactus. And we'll just read briefly what it says. I said I wasn't really going to read very much, but it says here, the universe was created from the eruption of another dying reality. It was into this new existence that I, its sole human survivor, Galen of Ta, emerged without shape, without form. With that eruption came echoes of energies, echoes of consciousness, which coalesced into cosmic beings embodying the sentience of this universe aborning. So basically, out of Galactus came these other life forms, and also out of the destruction of a former reality came these other beings into existence. Eternity, the Master of Order, Lord Chaos, and Death. They joined a multiversal living tribunal to which Galactus entered into a cosmic crucible, and he began a long process of transforming into something more than mortal. He was birthed from the maelstrom of creation, and along with that, the destruction and reincarnation of the universe came the Infinity Gems. Very interesting. You see those there. And it explains why Galactus feeds off of other planets. He doesn't feed off of other planets from being evil. He has to do that in order to survive. You know, just like if you have a tornado, or tornado doesn't destroy because it wants to. It's a force of nature, or a tsunami. Well, that's what Galactus is. He has to feed in order to survive. But also really interesting here is, out of the destruction of the former universe, or a former galaxy, came other living beings, like the Phoenix Force. It shows here, which we know later on would inhabit the body of Jean Grey, one of the X-Men. Something called the Macron Crystal, which formed with the universe's first planet. The Celestials were born, and it looks like the Elders of the Universe were born. So it showed right here, the Elders of the Universe. And I really, again, am enthralled by this book because, as we know, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they've been mainly focusing on earthly heroes, the Earth's mightiest heroes, that being the Avengers. But when Guardians of the Galaxy came along, it went into the cosmic realm of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And right now, they're about to get into the Marvel Cosmic Universe, which I believe is the importance of this book, as it gets into the premises of those particular situations dealing with more cosmic characters, and how they formed or helped to form or participated in or created other beings throughout the universe, including a lot of the superpowers that we have on Earth, and as well as mutants, as well as Inhumans. And it talks about superpowers, and it talks about Inhumans and mutants as well, and how they derived from all of these beings here. You know, it's some interesting passages in this book, as it reminds me, and I don't want to get religious here when I say this, but it reminds me of the Bible. You know, when I used to go to church years ago, and in Sunday school, when in the book of Proverbs, I think it is, in the book of Psalms and Isaiah, and some of the books in the New Testament of the Bible, and it talks about heaven, the heavenly hosts, the angels, and how all the different heavenly and angelic beings came into existence from the creation of the universe out of the void. In the beginning of in Genesis, it talks about the void, the black void, and how what God said, "Let there be light," and out of the darkness became light, and He formed the firmament of the different parts of the universe, and out of that came the earth, and etc., etc., etc. But that's kind of the premises of this book. It does the same thing. There's a comparison and analogy that I found to biblical reference and biblical type situations. For instance, on this page, it shows here different gods or whatever, or heavenly hosts, that help to create the foundations of other beings, as I aforementioned, the Inhumans, the X-Men, and humans who eventually have superpowers. And at the center of all this is Galactus. And here are the beings that I mentioned. Here are, for instance, the Skrulls. Over here, how they came into existence. Then the Nuali shows the Shi'ar, or the Shi'ar Empire, how it was formed. The Nova Force over here, and again the progenitors. And it talks about different eras, different battles, galactic battles that took place that will form alliances and destroy alliances and that sort of thing. Galactic governments, and it's just, again, a very interesting combination of tales that lead into, again, the existence of the Marvel Universe as we know it, that came from the cosmic beyond. Right here shows the beginning of the Celestials, or I should say the Celestials creating the Eternals. And as we know, the Eternals is about to become part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it shows here the Celestials creating the Eternals, and also the very first set of Avengers right here, which consisted of Odin, the Black Panther, Agamotto. And Agamotto is one of the weapons, or one of the tools used by the Sorcerer Supreme, that being Doctor Strange. But I didn't know the first Sorcerer Supreme was actually called Agamotto. Very interesting. And Agamotto, I believe, is right there. Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, Lady Phoenix, right there. Starbrand, where they were the first Avengers. And there's a Black Panther. So I think that this book is going to be leading into something that we will probably be seeing in the future of the Marvel Cosmic Universe. Not just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the Marvel Cosmic Universe. The artwork to me isn't the greatest. It's decent, but it's really just these are really just splash pages, just to kind of give you an idea of what's how the universe came into existence in the Marvel lore. Not in the real world, but in the Marvel lore. But again, there's comparison analogies to things that we actually know in terms of, when it comes to certain tales and mythology and even, like I said, religion, all combined into this particular book to make it interesting for the Marvel Legends. And here we even show the birth of Thanos right there. And there's Fin Fang Foom, who we learn was once, he's a shapeshifter from a planet called, if I can pronounce it, Hakuranarathara. He arrived in the form of a mighty dragon. So he's a shapeshifter. So I never even knew that. And this book basically is like an age of discovery, for a lot of things that we didn't know that existed, in the Marvel Universe. So I didn't really mean to go on this long. I didn't really mean to make this video beyond 5 minutes. But again, I just wanted to show some of the pages of this book. I really encourage you to read it. Here's a Black Knight right there to purchase it. The Black Knight, as we found out, will be in the Eternals movie. And this gives a history of the Black Knight. It tells a lot of very detailed stuff of characters we've read about, but we never knew how they came into existence, what made them become what they are. The Hand, for instance, and here's the birth of Thor. So again, for all you Marvel lights out there, Marvel fans, I suggest that you get this book. I think that this book is actually going to lead into something very big in future events. Book number 2 is out, but book number 2 mainly gets into the earthly realm, as I aforementioned, as it deals with the Avengers. But I think the most interesting part, I've always been interested in who gave humans superpowers in the Marvel universe, how they came to be, what was before the Avengers or the X-Men or the Inhumans. And Guardians of the Galaxy really spawned more of that thought process for me. And this book answers those questions. And I hope to see the tales that are from this book actually shown in the Marvel Cosmic Universe, as I also mentioned. So that's it. That's all, y'all. I hope that this video has been interesting. I hope that you will find this book in local comic book shops and be interested in actually buying it. I really encourage you to do so, as I believe the next movies that are coming out, the next lineup of movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, phases 4 and 5, will actually be based off of these particular stories that are told in the history of the Marvel Universe. Anyway, I hope everyone has a great day, great evening or morning, or whatever time and place you are in the world. Again, please hit the like button, share, subscribe to my videos. Peace, love, and hair grease.